Okay. In the context of what's happening with the farmers and losing their farms over Trump's policies and losing their labor force and all the tariffs and everything piling up on them. I'm going to give you a little bit of family history. During the Depression era, my family worked as migrant workers. My grandmother, my papa, granny, my dad, his brother and sister all worked as migrant workers. Here in Oklahoma, they picked cotton right alongside of the blacks and indigenous and others that were not white. And remember, I'm mixed indigenous, but as far as the census is concerned, I'm white. Because that's the way the birth certificates read. But my family, hard, back-breaking work, picked cotton, they harvested the apples and the grapes and the other orchards. They went migrant workers. They would go where the harvests were. Eventually, they wound up in California. And California treated them like shit. So my dad hated California ever after that. But the thing is, you white farmers that want the black people to come to your farm and do the work for you because you're too lazy to get off your goddamn butts and do a little bit of work for yourself. Just remember, my family was willing to do it. I don't think you're any less capable of getting out there and putting in the effort to work. Menial labor. It doesn't require a college degree and 5 years worth of experience to do. I was always happy to find work. No matter what it was, as long as it was legal. I myself have hauled hay. I have hauled wood. I have hauled trash. I have worked construction, doing construction cleanup. And let me tell you, construction cleanup is a very hard, back-breaking job. I ended up lifting pieces of marble that weighed as much as I did and having to carry them up 3 or 4 flights to be used as window seals in the Adams building downtown when I was on the crew that did the remodeling. My second husband was an electrician. I used to help him on his jobs, pulling wire. Now, why can't you get out there, take your hoe, take your sickle, do your weeding, do your picking, fill up your baskets and your bags, fill up your trucks, and take it off to market. And get paid for your labor. Instead of depending on other people to do for you. problem with the white farmers is they want to bring back slavery. They want the black people to come and work for less than minimum wage, doing what they won't do for themselves because they lost their funding. They lost their workforce. And they have all these tariffs. The black farmers have been doing without that funding all this time. They've been doing without the migrant workers all this time. They've been doing it themselves. They make up less than 1% of the farmers. And yet, they've been doing it. They've struggled. They've been working with substandard machinery because they couldn't get the loans and the grants and things because they were black. And the white folk pushed back against them getting those loans and those grants because the white folk were the ones in power and controlled how things were done in politics. Remember? Well, you fucked around and you found out. Now you're going to have to do what the black folk are doing. Now you're going to have to do what the indigenous are doing. You know, they've been farming and taking care of the land all this time without government funding. They live in substandard housing on the reservations. Have you ever been to the reservation? I have. I visited several reservations. I went and visited Shalagi up at Tahlequah. I visited the reservations in New Mexico and Arizona. So I go visit some of my relatives that live there. I know what their housing is like. I know the way they're forced to live. Because of an ongoing genocide. And the way this government treats them. So, now you're in this situation where your karma caught up with you. And you're going to have to do what the rest of us have been doing all along. You're going to have to do it yourself. And you're going to have to struggle. And you're going to have to survive. And maybe when you get through all this, you'll appreciate what you've got. And you'll elect somebody who actually cares about this entire country and not themselves. Somebody who will do what's right. At the local city level, at the county level, at the state level, at the federal level. You will elect people that actually give a damn instead of people that are out to make themselves richer. Because at the end of the day, how much money you have and how fancy your possessions are, how many houses and how many cars and how many planes you have, that's not going to make you happy. And you can't take that with you when you die. And neither can your children, or their children, or their children. That stuff gets left behind. So why pile up a whole bunch of it? There is a point beyond which You're just making money to make money. And it's not satisfactory. It doesn't satisfy anything in you. Nobody needs to be a billionaire or a trillionaire. Nobody. And it shouldn't cost so much to live for the people that are poor. If they have to work 3 jobs, 2 people working 3 jobs in order to make ends meet. And there are families like that. And their children grow up not knowing their parents because their parents are all the time working. They spend all their time either in school or in the care of someone who's not their parent because their parents are having to work so hard just so they can stay off the streets, have food, have clothing, and be able to pay doctor bills. And then these people who are so wealthy begrudge every little bit that those poor people have, every little bit that they get. When they have to depend on the government to take care of them, because the churches don't, or because 3 jobs just doesn't cut it. Between 2 people both working 3 jobs. There are places in this country where it is so expensive that even working people are on food stamps and Medicare, Medicaid, because they can't afford to live. But here you are. You people that have 100, 200, 300 acre farms, you had enough money to get the land and the equipment and everything. You're not willing to get out there and work. And you want the black people, the indigenous, anybody who's not white, to come and work for you because, quote, they don't have jobs. Got news for you. They do have jobs. And a lot of them are better educated than you are. Gets back to that, treat other people like you would want them to treat you. What goes around comes around. All those immigrant workers that you voted to have deported had better work ethics than you do. And you're going to whine and cry because the poor white folk and the poor black folk and the poor indigenous are not going to come work for below minimum wage to take care of their families so that you can sit there on your laurels. Don't ask me to feel sorry for you. I mean, I really empathize with you. I understand. But I can't feel sorry for you because you voted for this. This is what you wanted. You drank the Kool-Aid and you listened to the trance talk. And we warned you that he was a liar and that he changed his mind every other sentence. And that he would do horrible things to this country. We warned you. But you didn't listen. So have the day you deserve. Maybe pick up that Bible of yours and really read it, study it, understand what Jesus actually said. Then maybe you can turn things around. But don't expect the rest of us to waste time feeling sorry for you when you treated us like dirt.